The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of EastLink TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Welcome back to DocTalk and EastLink TV. Dr. John Gillis with Dr. Andrew Starzomski talking about mental health, the law, and recovery. Really cool video before the break. You talked about the value of different therapies and showing that your patients, your clients can do different things. How does these activities, these types of therapies help them? I mean, how does it change their view, their approach, their feeling about themselves?
Well, we see a lot of different responses from clients during the time that they're with us. One of the main ones is that their mental status is improving along with medication compliance, so that sometimes we have people who have been ill and unwell for quite a long time, sometimes years, and it can take months and months for them to really reach what can be their optimal level of functioning. So as that's happening, as they're getting better with that, with the mental status, they're often having the chance to participate in social relationships and new connections with other clients and staff that are very positive. Occupational therapists are helping people build up their independent living skills, and the recreation therapy folks are doing a lot of work, and so there's a lot of stuff happening with new relationships and socializing, which really is a big challenge for lots of folks with these serious mental illnesses.
Sure. The phrase "building a new normal," is that what they're doing?
That's exactly what this is. Absolutely.
And to be able to go out and and it may seem very basic to people who don't have mental illness, but to go out and be able to bike ride with some perhaps people you consider new friends that you share something with.
That's right.
Is powerful.
Yeah, and it really is a process of self-discovery that we try to facilitate, and helping people build up and be exposed to new opportunities, or in some cases experiences people have had years ago that have been absent in their life for a long time and that they're getting reconnected with now.
And what's the feedback been from the individuals?
Well, typically it's been really quite positive. Sometimes people feel like it's a bit too much to have to do. They feel like they would prefer to watch TV or just hang out in a lower key way, but we really see folks benefiting from and talking about the benefits of getting more exercise and of feeling healthier, and we've had some people be able to kind of use those activities as a way to quit smoking, for example.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we actually have another clip of one of your clients talking about how some of the activities, including cycling, have helped him, so I think this is a nice segue. So why don't we just show that clip, really neat thing to see.
All my life I grew up, every grading day we had a new bicycle. And on Easter sometimes we had a new bicycle. I like that Francis had us right behind him, one in signal file. When I was 12, 13 years old, I got for stealing a bicycle and I ended up in court. When I became schizophrenic, I really didn't have a bicycle. I like the speed. I think it's a thrill that I am on a bicycle moving fast. Yes, I'm getting stronger. And I did enjoy the long path.
So back, Andrew, video of your client Philip, which is really amazing to see how some of these therapies have affected his life. Do you want to give us a little more context and how that's applicable to him and to some other clients?
Sure. Well, this gentleman has shown a really fantastic recovery. during the time that he's been with us, and he's one of these fellows who actually took a fairly long time to recover and get well with his mental status. And once he started doing better, he really enjoyed being able to do these different kind of activity-based therapies. And he is a person who had previously been very much connected to cycling, and it was a major part of his growing up years. And then when he got ill in his 20s, it really faded out because his lifestyle couldn't sustain it. And so his story really is a wonderful one about kind of reconnecting with important activities that have always been enriching to him and kind of giving back his life in some ways.
Fantastic. Yeah. Do you see moments of awareness, where people they're kind of, yeah, fine, I'll go do the stupid activity, and then boom, one day they're like, I remember this, I connect with this, I feel like a person again.
Absolutely, and we see that with all kinds of different activities that are offered at our hospital and in the community. A big part of what we're trying to do is create some new lifestyle options with people that are sustainable when they leave hospital. We're hoping to get people out into their own places to live as soon as they can, as soon as that opportunity arises. And so things like bicycling or getting out and going skating, going to the library, and different kind of things like this are really interesting to lots of our folks, and to find the right match and the right fit so they'll want to keep it up is a big part of what we do. Yeah,
it's not just doing something just for the heck of it. It's something that they can continue in the community. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the other things. I mean, I want to talk about that sort of post-treatment, the importance of that, but we've seen the cycle loop. Tell us about some of the film projects and music projects.
Sure. Well, we have one of the initial projects that really got the ball rolling and got some funding for us, and you can find this on our YouTube channel, which is called East Coast Arts and Film, anti-stigma pieces. The Mental Health Commission of Canada has been really putting a big push on with trying to educate the public about the nature of mental health problems and the capabilities of those with mental health issues. And so we have actually made a few short films to try to challenge stigma about mental health patients being inherently violent and these kinds of things. So we've got that kind of work that's been going on. We also did a really interesting art mural project where we had an artist come in and work with the clients over the summer on creating an enormous mural that will be installed at our hospital in the coming summer. I've been able to retain interesting music through that. We were able to contact this well-known musician named Caribou, who's a Canadian who's big internationally, and he allowed us to use one of his songs to be the soundtrack for the film about this mural project. So there's lots of interesting things that go on with this kind of work.
So concurrently building understanding among your patients and also in the public eye.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're only a little bit of time left in the segment, but I think that's really important because I think the public don't always understand, and if they see someone acting in a strange way or aggressively, they're either evil or they're drunk, and often it's very much not the case.
Right.
So. When we come back, I want to talk about sort of what happens after therapy and some of the great things you do about getting people back into the community, and also the effect of some drugs and how that does affect some of your patients.
Absolutely.
Right back on DocTalk. See you then.
Furniture for the set of DocTalk provided by Office Interiors.
The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of EastLink TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Welcome back to DocTalk and EastLink TV. Once again, Dr. John Gillis, Dr. Andrew Starzomski, talking mental health, law, and recovery. So fascinating work that you guys are doing. I think it's amazing how you've taken some different approaches to getting people better. I want to come back to that. Just curious, something we talked about off air. I mean, a lot of the trouble your patients have is with primary mental illness, but some of this can be compounded by substance abuse. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I would venture to guess that upwards of 75% or more of our clients have not only a serious mental illness that's of a psychotic nature typically, but also a problem with abusing substances, and often this is quite an active, ongoing problem for them. And so we're talking about the abuse of alcohol and also, in many cases, abuse of marijuana.
I picked up on that because, I've commented on this show in the past and in other venues about, what I see as the over-demonization of marijuana in our society in a lot of ways. But I also am careful to comment, at least I think most of the time, that it can be a powerful psychoactive agent and markedly magnify mental illness. Right. Is that correct?
It really can. It seems like for a number of our clients, they're finding experiences through the use of cannabis that are really offsetting and interfering with their reality testing. And psychotic conditions by nature are a disorder in reality testing. It's hard to tell what's real, what's in your head, and what's outside, and what's your idea, and what's an external influence.
And if you're adding something that will modify that again, then
right.
It'll be okay. Well, it's interesting to learn about that. What I think is great about your program is that you're doing different things to get people reconnected with themselves, with society, but it doesn't stop there. What's next for a client like perhaps Philip, who has gotten back on his meds, is doing better, has found some things that he loves? How do we then, tell us how you guys help them get back into the community and live again?
Sure. Well, the East Coast Forensic Hospital is part of Capital Health, and it's connected in the mental health program to a whole range of different programs and services and agencies around HRM that are community-based supports and centers for care for people within the mental health program. And then there's a whole nother layer and array of community-based not-for-profit agencies and other kind of groups that help put people with activities and making social connections and these kinds of things. So when people leave our hospital, and maybe they live in a group home or maybe they live in their own apartment, they are typically encouraged to join in with activities at a place like the Connections Clubhouse on Barrington Street, where there's a whole range of wonderful activities and leisure activities, work assistance programs, and typically gaining mental health care through community-based clinics, sometimes through their primary care physician. And there's certainly lots of work going on to help connect people to mainstream employment, mainstream community-based activities of all that sorts, gym, all that kind of stuff.
Fantastic by itself for that individual and what you're able to do for them. But I think what I find most interesting is, and I think people forget this, is people who are institutionalized do not contribute to society in a lot of ways. They cost our health system a lot of money. Whereas somebody who has been treated and successfully helped to get back, they may not be making six figures, but many of them are able to work and they're able to contribute in different ways. And it's all different. Yeah. But how valuable is that to, aside from the individual, to the health system in general?
Well, it's a very big objective. There's a sense of well-being that emerges for the individual and for the individual's family. Absolutely. To see and know that their family member who maybe was going through a hard time of illness and unemployability and things is now back on their feet. And so the way that boosts a family and a neighborhood and the health system is really quite profound. And so it's a really big focus within the health system. Yeah,
and I bring it up because I think some people out there who don't see or suffer from mental illness forget that how just devastating it can be for individuals and families, but how valuable it can be to invest in helping turn things around. Yeah. It makes sense for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If people are interested in checking out some of your other work, you mentioned the YouTube channel. Tell us what they'd look for.
Well, at youtube.com, if you type in East Coast Arts and Film, all one string of letters, you'll get to our channel, which is a collection of videos that have been made over the last couple of years, chronicling the work that we do with our clients. Some of it is public service announcement stuff, and some of it's just silly, fun stuff that we've done for the hospital Christmas party. We do these mock-up Letterman-style TV shows and do some goofy stuff like that. Again, just engaging clients, engaging staff, and building kind of a new sense of what mental health recovery is all about.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for being here. So the message I'd like everybody to take from this is, try to be a little more understanding, all of us, of the fact that mental illness is real. Bad things sometimes happen. If you see something happen, that person is not always responsible, and there are great things happening to try and help people get better, get back into the community. I applaud you for your work, and I hope it continues.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, and
Thanks
everyone.
for having me.
Thanks for being here on DocTalk. We'll see you soon.